Good morning, everyone. No rest for the weary. It's Thursday morning. I'm up early to check the latest data and get you set for the snow that's coming later today, and more importantly, the snow that's coming as we head into the upcoming weekend. Today's system remains kind of an appetizer and probably in the grand scheme of things not that big of a deal, but that said, I'm gonna have to watch for some slick spots later on today. Here's a look at that system cruising into western Ohio as of 7:40 this morning. This puts it on track to arrive here as we head towards late afternoon into the evening. This is, this is a pretty weak system, but I do think that it is going to snow, and with temperatures a little below freezing, untreated surfaces and sidewalks and parking lots, things that typically don't see as much traffic, can get a little bit slick later today. Main roads doing okay, I think, for the most part later today and into this evening. The timing on this, there can be some flurries at about any point this afternoon, but I don't think anything impactful falls before sunset this evening. It's after sunset and towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we see these darker blues pushing in. This is when some of that more legitimate snow will push in. It's going to snow at a light to moderate clip, it looks like, for a handful of hours this evening. Again, main roads, treated roads, I think will generally be okay because this will not be anything super heavy. And with marginal temperatures, it's not going to be in the teens or anything. It's going to be in the upper 20s to around 30. That'll help keep the roads in decent shape. The snow will then taper off around midnight or so, and this is long gone by tomorrow morning. Maybe a flurry tomorrow morning. I wouldn't expect tomorrow morning to be much of a big deal weather-wise. All right, let's talk about our weekend system. There goes tonight's or this evening's system. Tomorrow is our calm day. In between systems, it'll be a cloudy, uneventful day. All right, model trends overnight haven't been much of a trend, hasn't been much of a trend on either the GFS or the European overnight, both of them kind of sticking to their guns, and I think you're going to probably see that change later today. My suspicion is the GFS is going to start caving to the European model idea, and well, what does that mean? I'm going to show you here. There's been, kind of two differences of opinion here as far as the track and the impacts on our region between the GFS and European. This is the European I'm showing you here, and it would suggest that there can be a little bit of snow Saturday morning, especially north of I-80. That's going to be not a big deal. Something to watch out for. Maybe there's a little coating for people making last-minute adjustments before the real deal gets here. The real deal gets in here by early afternoon Saturday. So we're talking between, say, noon and 3 o'clock is when the legitimate, here comes the storm, kind of snow is going to really kick in. And then conditions will deteriorate rapidly, I think, as we head towards sunset and into the evening. So say by 4, 5, 6 o'clock, I think, snow is going to be accumulating rapidly, road conditions are going to be deteriorating quickly, and that's the time of the day that you want to hunker down and stay in if you can. And then the snow continues all night. Now, the big differences between the European model and the GFS model. The European model brings that rain-snow line up to about here. The GFS has consistently been farther north, bringing that rain-snow line up to maybe East Liverpool or perhaps even Newcastle, Lisbon. That's a really important difference, especially for people in our southern television viewing area. That 50-mile or whatever it is difference could mean the difference between a few inches of snow followed by some mixed precipitation or just a whole bunch of snow. And I'm starting to lean more and more towards the European model idea. I think it's handling the system that will become our snowstorm better at this point, and it's been very consistent. When the European model is really consistent for several runs in a row, that's usually a good sign that it's on to the right idea. Again, the timing on this, conditions get worse from mid-afternoon on Saturday. Worst of the weather late Saturday into Saturday night. By daybreak Sunday, the snow will be starting to lighten up and taper off, but conditions on Sunday are still bad because there's going to be blowing snow, drifting snow, really ugly wind chills, and just nastiness. So there won't be a whole lot of snow falling from the sky, but look at all these isobars packed tightly together. That's wind. And the consistency of the snow towards the tail end of this storm is going to get fluffier and lighter and really easy for that stuff to blow around. Easy on your snowblower. The stuff isn't going to get caked up in your snowblower all that easily, especially the stuff that falls late Saturday night. But really easy for this stuff to blow around. So reductions in visibility can still occur on Sunday, even after the snow actually stops falling. So I mentioned those big important differences between the European and the GFS. I just showed you the European depiction. Here's the GFS. Notice that green gets way up here, north of the West Virginia Panhandle. Up to about Route 30. I'm really starting to think this is not the right idea, but the GFS has been consistent with this. My suspicion, my gut feeling is that the GFS is going to cave to the European later on today. And what does that mean for our forecast? I don't think it means a lot for people in Trumbull and Mercer County and probably even Mahoning County. But for our folks in Columbiana County, it may mean more snow than our original forecast that we put out last evening. Here's a look at the model spread for the Youngstown Warren Airport, and this is fairly representative of kind of the heart of our TV viewing area. The red line, that's the GFS. Notice it's way below the European and even the GFS ensemble modeling, and that's because it has so much mixing. It's kind of an outlier. I'm starting to really not buy it. And these two models would suggest, we're up around 10, 11 inches. For kind of the heart of our viewing area, which is just about what our forecast is. Now, this is the map I put out last evening. I remain, pretty confident in things up here. This is the area we have to watch, kind of this box, including East Liverpool to Wheeling, Steubenville, Pittsburgh, because the purple area, again, if my gut feeling is right, the purple area of 9 to 12 is going to end up coming down here because I'm starting to lean towards the direction that there's not going to be all that much mixed precipitation down here. That said, if the GFS is going to score a coup here and has the right idea, then it's also possible that instead of 6 to 9 inches, the light blue here, the 3 to 6, comes farther north, and this 1 to 3 comes farther north. If that warm nose tries to poke in, my gut feeling again is that that is not going to happen. But if it were to happen, then the forecast could go in the other direction. So this remains just a tough call in this zone right through here. A little bit of a closer view of our area here. So again, this is going to be a big storm. We're thinking 9 to 12 just about everywhere in our TV viewing area. And if you are interested in areas just outside of our TV viewing area, I think Canton's in a similar position, probably 9-ish. I doubt 12 back here, but 9-ish to 10-ish, a whole lot of snow. Akron, same idea. Cleveland, it might just be out of the 9 to 12 zone along the lakeshore. Close call there. It would be a lot of snow. It would be at least a half a foot, I think, from Cleveland to Ashtabula, but maybe not 9. Plenty of snow, though. But again, the 6 to 9 area is probably, if my gut feeling is right, going to be replaced by the 9 to 12 area in southern Columbiana County later on today if the model trends go the way I suspect they will. Timing again, I get a lot of questions on timing on this. I verbalized it a minute ago, and here's kind of a graphical representation. Here's the clock times. Conditions deteriorate mid to late afternoon Saturday and stay pretty bad into Sunday morning. And even though heavy snow will stop falling on Sunday, blowing snow is still going to be a problem with the gusts. Drifts will be a problem. Wind chills, ugly. This is going to be just a true hunker down and ride this out if you can kind of a storm. If you don't have to travel from early to mid-afternoon Saturday through at least Sunday morning, then don't. Just hunker down. Hopefully you've got plenty of wine or beer and food and everything you need. A good selection of DVDs, and your queue is full on Netflix. And if you can just ride this out, then that's what I would certainly suggest. It will not be recommended that you travel if you don't have to for much of the upcoming weekend. More updates throughout the day today here and on the Storm Tracker 21 app. I'll see you this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11.